You are watching this video from somewhere in the world, maybe India, maybe the US, maybe UK, or wherever you are. I want you to hear this number. April 2026, India processed 22.6 billion digital payment transactions in a single month. For your real context, that's more real-time digital payment transactions than entire United States, Canada, UK, France, Germany, and even more, all in a combined. That not just per capita, not adjusted per population, but more. And here is the thing that will blow your mind. This country was nowhere in 2015, just 11 years ago from now. Most of the people who weren't even aware about digital payment transactions back then. This country has almost went from zero to number one in under a decade. And the name of the system this country has built is UPI. And by the end of this video, you will come to understand why world's richest countries like US, UK, Canada are scrambling to copy the whole system India has built so far. And why this might be the most important piece of technology India has built for itself. Stay till the end, because I'm going to show you something about US payment system that will genuinely surprise you. Their most advanced payment system is technically slower than that of a local vegetable vendor uses in India, and I will prove it to you with data. Picture this. This is India in 2015. You along with your friend went to a restaurant, you enjoy a whole meal, now time comes for splitting the bills. What will you do? You go to an ATM, you withdraw the cash, you count the cash, now you go for splitting the bills. The case happens when one of you doesn't have that exact change you are looking for. And in that case, you might argue about your 20 rupees, or you may get slightly annoyed or go home. But you would prefer bank transfer because 20 rupees is also important. So in that case, you might need bank account number, IFSC code, bank name, branch name, and whatnot. All those things you guys need. You type it all in. Now you might wait for tonight. It might go through tomorrow, or it might get failed. Nobody tells you why. This is how money moved in India back in 2015 for a country of 1.4 billion people. This wasn't just inconvenient, this was exclusive, I would say. Back then, if you were living in a small village and you didn't have a bank nearby, what would you do? You have to go through a lot of mess in order to transfer the money to your relatives, to your friends, or whomever. If you are running a small business, you can't accept the payment through cards. You know why? Machines cost money, of course, and the transaction fees would add a lot of your margin. And how come you get profit out of your business? The financial system in India was supporting top 20% of the population and rest 80% was effectively locked out. This is how India existed before UPI. And I'll show it to you who changed it and how. 2012, Reserve Bank of India was looking at the problem. India has hundreds of banks. Every bank has their own payment system, own application, and own interface. They don't talk to each other. If you have a bank in, let's say, HDFC and your friend have a bank in SBI, you guys are in different worlds. Of course, transacting the money was possible, but it used to be quite slow, expensive, and complicated alongside. RBI brings together a lot of engineers and visionaries and gave them one goal. Make a payment application which will be completely simple, fast, open, and works with every bank in India. They make it in such a way that anyone with a smartphone and a bank account can use it. Anyone who has never gone through a computer can understand it. Later, the set of the organization to build this is NPCI, National Payment Corporation of India. Then, in April 2016, they set up UPI. Now, here is what makes the story extraordinary. For the first 3 months after the launch, nobody used it. The transaction count was almost zero. The people who built it were quite nervous. Was it a failure or something? Then, on 8th of November, our Prime Minister Modi announces, you guessed it right, demonetization. Overnight, 86% of currency got invalid. 500 million people needed a way to transact their money without cash. Then there, sitting ready, waiting for its turn to come is UPI. UPI didn't go viral because of its marketing, neither of any sort of advertisement. UPI go viral because India needed it desperately, in a single night. Okay, now I am going to make you understand how UPI actually works, and I am going to make you understand using a simple analogy that all of you perfectly know about, just as email. Before email, in order to send someone message, we needed their physical address, just as house number, city name, street name, pin code, all such things. But it was kind of complicated, kind of combusted maybe every time. But when email came into picture, it gave us an address like this. Simple, universal, works anywhere in the world as long as you are connected to internet. UPI exactly did the same thing, but for money. Before UPI, in order to send someone a message, we needed their account number, IFSC code, bank name, branch name, all such things. But when UPI came into picture, it gave us an address like this. Simple. This is called VPA. VPA stands for Virtual Payment Address. When someone wants to give you money, you give them their VPA and they type it all in, money moves, no IFSC code, no account number, no bank name, no branch name, nothing. Just an address and that's it. Okay, now let's stress what happens when you scan a QR code and pay 50 rupees at a chai store. Step 1. You open PhonePe or GPay on your phone, you scan the QR code, you enter 50 rupees. You enter your UPI PIN. Step 2. Your application, which is called PSP, a payment service provider, sends a request to your bank, not to the chai stall's bank, to your bank first. Step 3. Your bank verifies your PIN and checks your billings. Everything checks out, it sends a message to the NPCI switch. Now, what is NPCI switch? Think of it as one of the air traffic control center for all money movements in India. Every UPI transaction in the country, all 20 billion of them per month, passes through this switch. NPCI reads the BPA, figures out which bank the chai stall uses, and routes the payment there. Step 4. The chai stall's bank receives the instruction. It carries 50 rupees to the stall owner's account. Step 5. A confirmation travels back the same route. Your phone goes ping, the chai store owner's goes ping, both have received the success message. Total time for all this is under 1 second. All of this happen in 1 second. On a Sunday morning, on midnight, on Diwali night, doesn't matter. The system doesn't sleep. I promised you earlier I'll tell you something surprising about the US payment system, and here it is. The United States, the world's largest economy, the country that had given us the internet, the iPhone, Google, Amazon, and whatnot. This country ranks 7th in the world in this digital payments adoption. 7th. Below India, below China, below South Korea, even below Nigeria. And here is the most ironic part of the story. Even now, Americans' most common way to transact money is the ACH network. It was built in 1972. And using this network, it takes 1 to 3 business days for the money to be transacted between banks. Meanwhile, in 2026, in Chandigarh, for a street vendor, it takes around 1 second for the money to be transacted using UPI. How is it possible? How is the world's largest country is left behind a developing nation in this payment race? And the answer is legacy infrastructure. US had already built their world's first credit card network in 19th and 50th century. It was brilliant back then, but that early mover advantage became a trap. I am telling you why. The entire financial ecosystem of US was built on top of that foundation of 19th and 50th century. Banks, credit cards, cleaning houses, all were making money out of that existing system. A merchant has to pay around 1.5% to 3.5% in every transaction done by a credit card in every swipe. And the fees goes to MasterCard, Visa, and banks. It's around $110 billion industry in every single year. Not entirely, every single year. Now imagine if you are MasterCard or Visa and someone proposes with some fast and free payment system that will entirely bypass your network, entirely bypass your ecosystem, would you support that? Or would you use your political and enormous financial power to drag it down? That's what happened in US. But in India, we do not have any sort of trillion-dollar industry, any sort of credit card ecosystem. And in India, it started from the scratch, it started from zero, and which turned out to be an enormous advantage in India. Let me read you a list, and as I read, I want you to think what it really means. Bhutan adopted UPI in 2021, the first country outside India. Nepal adopted UPI. Sri Lanka adopted UPI. Mauritius adopted UPI. Singapore linked its UPI payment directly to UPI in 2023. United Arab Emirates over 60,000 merchants accept UPI as of 2024. France UPI was launched at the Eiffel Tower in February 2024. The Eiffel Tower. Cyprus became the second European nation to adopt UPI in 2025, and India is currently in talks with over 30 more countries. Let that sink in. India, a country that 10 years ago was one of the least sophisticated digital payment systems in the whole world, is now exporting its digital payment systems to the countries like Europe. And why does the world wants UPI? Because the alternative is expensive, as we all know. An engineer living outside India wants to send money to his parents. So, suppose he is living in London, he has to go through a lot of fees. Services like Western Union takes around 3% to 5% as their cut. You have to wait for days alongside. And talking about UPI International, it removes it all. Money moves in seconds, fees comes down to zero. And every 30 million Indians living outside India, UPI International is not just convenient but life-saving for them and also for the countries who are adopted UPI. I want to leave you with one thought. Every single revolution in Indian history has required someone to look at the way how things are done and decided that it doesn't need to be done in the way it is used to be. For 70 years, the assumption in financial world that payments are instant, free, and universal that are completely impossible, that are complicated, expensive, and exclusive by nature. A group of engineers looked at the problem and said no, it shouldn't be in this way that it used to be, and they did it. Today, a grandmother in Rajasthan who had never used a computer before is scanning QR code, paying for groceries in under a second for free. This is what happens when engineers solve a real problem. That is UPI, that is India, that is how a small group of people change how a billion people handle money every single day in India. If something has clicked in your mind that might haven't clicked before, then I would love to know that. Every single week, I'll come up with a new topic about technology and explain exactly in this way. If you want to know about technology you use every single day, starting from the GPS in your phone to the app on your wrist, then you are on the right place. That being said, I am Satyajit signing off. See you on the next week.